Hello, this is Miss Pat from Samuel's Public Library. This week we're going to be doing chemical reactions. It is a little different than what might have been advertised. We're not going to do elephant toothpaste, but we are going to do some sort of a hot air balloon. So today's story is going to be Curious George and the Hot Air Balloon by Margret and H. Rays. Okay, this is George. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. He was on a trip with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. It was the end of their vacation, and they wanted to make just 2 more stops. They were in South Dakota, so of course they went to see Mount Rushmore. George had never seen anything like it. These are the faces of 4 great presidents, the tour guide said. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Look, said a girl, there's something crawling on George Washington's head. The tour guide explained that some workers were making repairs to the faces. George watched the workers. Then he saw a helicopter fly by. It was taking tourists for a close-up. George thought that would be fun. Maybe we can take a ride later, the man said, but now we need to leave or we'll be late for the hot air balloon race. So they got back into their little blue car. You can see the little person climbing up here on his head. We went to a whole field of hot air balloons. George was delighted to see such big balloons. He liked their spots and stripes and stars, but his favorite had a picture of a bunny on it. One balloon was not blown up yet. Its owner was hurrying to fill it as a newspaper reporter took pictures. The man with the yellow hat watched the balloon on the ground, but George watched the balloons in the sky. He was curious. Why didn't they fly away? Then he saw the ropes. A rope is a good thing to keep a balloon from flying away, thought George. A rope is a good thing to climb. Sometimes when a monkey sees something to climb, he can't help himself. He has to climb it. George thought he would climb just one rope and then quickly climb down. But when George climbed up, there was no way to climb back down. The rope had become undone, and there was only one place to go. Up, up, up went the balloon, and George went with it. George flew higher and higher, and the people below grew smaller and smaller. The man with the yellow hat was tiny. The newspaper reporter was too, and the owner of the balloon wasn't very big, but he was big enough for George to see he was angry. George felt bad. He didn't mean to take the balloon, and he didn't even know how to fly it. As the wind whisked him away, he wished he had someone to help him, but he was all alone. George climbed into the basket. When he looked around, he found he wasn't alone after all. The race was on, and he was in the lead. Together, the balloons flew across the field and over the forest. Now George was having fun, but before he knew it, George was alone again, and all the fun was gone. Flying by himself high in the sky, George was frightened. How would he ever get down, he wondered. Oh, if only he hadn't climbed that rope. Suddenly, the wind changed, and George saw something familiar. He was excited. Someone was sure to help him now. In fact, there was someone right in front of him. See where he is? He's at Mount Rushmore again. It was one of the workers, and he was stranded on George Washington's nose. George was so happy to see the worker, he didn't notice how happy the worker was to see him. Slowly, the balloon floated closer. Would it come close enough? It did. The worker grabbed onto the rope and climbed up, and soon he was in the basket with George. Hooray! George was rescued! Hooray! The worker was too! They sailed up over George Washington's head and landed safely in a tree. Soon a whole crowd came to rescue them both. The man with the yellow hat was happy to see George. The reporter was glad to have such an exciting story to report, and the owner of the balloon wasn't angry anymore. Everyone had seen the rescue. George was a hero. After the workers thanked him, George got a special treat. He got to ride in the helicopter. The helicopter flew George and the man with the yellow hat once more past the presidents and then back to the little blue car. As they drove away, the man said, "That was some vacation, George." George agreed. It was an exciting vacation, but they were both very glad to go home. Okay, so the balloon we're going to make today isn't going to fly, but it is going to have chemical reaction. Hot air balloons are caused by air. Hot air that fills up the balloon, and hot air is lighter than cold air, so it will fly. In this case, though, we're going to make a balloon. You're going to get a STEM kit from the library, and it's going to make a balloon. And it's going to have a chemical reaction. So even if you're 6 years old, you're going to be able to play with chemicals, okay? Chemical reaction is a process where a set of substances undergoes a change and makes something different. So here's a picture of oxygen and hydrogen and more oxygen. And when they all bump into each other, you know what they make? H2O. You know what that is? Water. H2O. When you got 2 oxygen and 1 hydrogen, looks like Mickey Mouse here, that makes water. Okay, and you all drink water. Those are chemical reactions. Hydrogen and oxygen bumps into each other, makes water. That's how we also get the rain. Okay, all the hydrogen and the oxygen in the air is bumping into each other. It makes rain. And when the rain gets too heavy in the clouds, it falls down. All right. Almost all liquids, though, are either acids or bases. All right, so let's find out what an acid and a base is, because that's what we're going to be dealing with today. Okay, an acid has a lot of hydrogen ions. It's sour. Actually, we do drink a lot of acid. We'll talk about that in a second. And it turns blue litmus paper red. All right, so there's a test. If you guys ever go to a pool, you'll see them put paper in the pool, and they look to see what color it turns. If it turns red, there's going to be stuff in the water that's going to be burning your eyes. You don't want to be in that water then. Bases have a lot of hydroxide ions. That means they have a lot of HNO. It's bitter. We don't want to be drinking any of this stuff. And it turns the red litmus paper blue. So if your water in a pool is too acidic, it's going to hurt your eyes. If it's too basic, it's going to hurt your eyes. Let's look. But water, regular water that you guys drink, that's a 7. That's neutral. Okay, so you can drink that. But if it's lower numbers than a 7, it's going to kind of be a little sour. And let's look at what some of this stuff is. So acidic would be things like vinegar, bananas, tomatoes, lemons. Okay, you all had lemonade, so you all know lemons are going to be a little sour, right? Depending on how much you have. Now, a little bit basic. Now, we can have these first two. Okay, eggs, they're a base. When they react with certain things, like the vinegar or the lemons or even tomatoes, right, they kind of cancel each other out sometimes. Baking soda. So today we're going to be dealing with baking soda, which goes in a lot of the cookies and cakes and stuff. And we're going to be playing with vinegar. Soap is basic. Nobody really wants to taste soap. And then there's ammonia and bleach and oven cleaner, and that stuff you don't want anywhere near your mouth because that's going to really do some damage in your mouth. And one acid I didn't mention was you all have stomach acid. Everything you eat goes down your throat and into your stomach. And you have acid in your stomach and it dissolves all the food. Because when you guys go to the bathroom, the stuff doesn't come out looking like it did when it went in. Right? It all looks different. So the baking soda and the vinegar are going to create an acid reaction. And they're going to make carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the kind of air that you guys breathe out when you go, right? That's carbon dioxide. You all breathe in oxygen. Gases need a lot of room though to spread out, and the carbon dioxide is going to fill up the balloon. First it's going to fill up the bottle, then it's going to fill up the balloon, right? And as it moves into the balloon, it's going to blow it up. You might even see some fizz. So we're going to try this. And let's get our pieces here. So with me today, I have my granddaughter. Come on. Right? Now, if you guys come into Samuel's library, you watch the video first. You come in, you tell them you want the chemical reaction one or you want the hot air balloon. And we have all these bottles. Okay, we have construction paper, we have the tops. In the bottles is already, I want to show you, we have stuff in the bottles already. That's vinegar. Don't drink it. It's not going to taste good. Won't hurt you, but it isn't going to taste good. But we already put it in there, okay? And we have the tops on. We're going to give you construction paper. And if you color it, decorate it, wrap it around here, you can glue it or tape it. We kind of made ours to look like a basket. Made it to look like a basket. There are a couple of people in yours. I think you have a man, a boy, a girl, and you're going to have who?
Curious George.
And Curious George. You'll have a Curious George. So we did a Curious George one. So we made our basket, and we put him in there. Now, for this, you're going to need to take the top off, and you're going to have a balloon, and it's going to have a clip on it. Take the clip off, okay? It's folded over a couple of times because we have baking soda already inside the balloon, so you don't even have to try and get that in there. You can put more in if you want later on. You can always do it again, in which case you hold it open like this and have somebody else put the baking soda in, okay? It's a whole lot easier that way. So with this, you're going to go like that. And then I'm going to let Aurora show you what to do.
Shake it up.
Nope, you're going to
Shake it up. I need to
dump the all right, and you can see that it all blew up, right? I didn't quite put mine on right, mine straight. Okay. Oh, she's getting more in there.
in there.
All right, there's a lot in there, so we can kind of keep going. So you can keep doing that. Now, if she stops and she waits for a while, when the balloon starts going back down, she could always take the rest of the baking soda and do it again because we haven't let any air in. So all this carbon dioxide has gone up and spread into here. But you saw the bubbles come up. Right now, you probably can't see them, although I think you can. You might be able to see little bubbles around here. So when you put this stuff on, you might want to hold on to this when you dump the baking soda in, because otherwise it might just blow it right off.
And then you'll have a big mess.
Okay. Now, when it's all done, if you want, you can take this off carefully. Okay, put more baking soda in here, put more vinegar in here, or you can try lemon juice. Lemon juice will do it really nice also. Remember, lemon juice is just like vinegar. It's acidic. I've never tried it with orange juice. But orange juice, if you've ever had a sore throat, and you know when you drink orange juice with a sore throat, it hurts. So orange juice is really acidic too. I wouldn't try tomato juice. I don't think, that's acidic, but I think tomato juice is too thick. But you can try either one. You can put lemon juice or vinegar back in here. You can put more baking soda in here, and you can do it again.
But don't drink it.
Don't drink it. All it is, though, it's going to be like salty water, okay? It's not going to taste like vinegar. Well, it might taste a little bit like vinegar, but it's going to be like a lot of salty water, okay? So, hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed. If you guys want to take any pictures, send them in to us. We'd love to see some of them. All right, please come in and get a STEM kit. Ask for the balloon, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.